Good afternoon, folks. This is actually Corey doing the monthly webinar for our Salesforce tips and tricks. A little bit late this month. I apologize for that. But what we're going to be going over is the tips that were posted end of February, right in the beginning of March, as we always do about a month later, 3 weeks later. So as of right now, the April tips are up. And a couple weeks from now, I'll be doing the webinar to go over those 3 as well, as I usually do every month. So today's session is just going over, again, the 3 tips that were posted at the end of February of 2018. And we'll just go through each one by one. All right, so sit back, enjoy, and let's get moving. So I've actually already done a couple of these, so you forgive me when I walk through the steps and it's already kind of done. What I'm going to do is this instead. I'm going to go to my sales area just to get us back, because we're going to go in and we're going to create a custom sales app at this point is what we're going to do, right? So, and the reason why is a lot of times when I'm doing this, I hit these limitations that says, oh, you can only do this for a custom app that was built in Lightning and not in the Classic edition, because I have other custom apps built in Classic. For instance, I do have the Marks Group BC, which is a new Lightning app, and then I have the other one that was the Marks Group Sales, which is just the one I built in Classic. And because of that, there's only certain things I can do with it, which is a little bit strange. So we're stuck and we have to do it again. Okay, we're just going to build it from scratch and start again. We're going to go to our gear button that we always go to, which is right up here at the top, and do setup. Opens up a new tab. I'm in the setup module of Salesforce. What I'm always going to do here is I'm just going to go to app or app manager, whatever works for you, and you can do this here and go there, and we're looking for apps. Now, in here, we've got all our different apps. Okay, we've got the Sales Console, Salesforce Chatter, everything that we've got. And if you notice, here's the one that I had, the Marks Group, that was Classic. Okay, so if I even sort this and say, I wish I could sort, there we go, sort this, you can see all the ones that I have are Classic, okay, including the roll-up helper, which is an add-on that I've gone over before, right? Visible in Lightning, yes, 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 they're all there, okay? But what I'm going to do is create a new one, because as you can see, this one's Classic too, and we're just going to go and create a new Lightning app, okay? And by doing so, what you end up doing is you can brand it, you can put in your own logo, you can do whatever you want, and this is where it gets kind of fun, right? So we're going to call this Marks Group Sales and Marketing, okay? Developer name, API name, normal, testing for webinar usage, okay? No big deal. And I'm going to upload an image. Now, if I go to my image, I try and upload all these different things I have. Let me go to my documents, see if I've got anything in here. I don't know if I've got it. Let me do a preview just to make sure I'm picking the right one, and I am. There's all sorts of ones, so I'm just going to do this one and say open, and it will upload it, and there's my image, which looks great, just like this, sales and marketing. Okay, so now I can do a primary color. I can change this if I want to go around. I'm going to make it a pretty, let's just go purple and say, okay, done, and there's my purple color, and it's all pretty, right? Okay, so now we say next. And as you can see down below, we're actually guiding through the steps. So it says, what do we want to do, standard or console? Now remember, last month's tips, we went over console. Console is when you actually have that ability to open up multiple tabs per account. And every time you click on a new account, it's a new tab, or a new contact, it's a new tab. I'm just going to do standard navigation, okay? You can also do service if we want. I'm just going to leave this as standard for right now. And next. Okay, now the utility bar, right? So the utility bar is where we're going to add certain things, okay? I'm going to add it, and I'm going to say I want to have history, right? And then the history brings over here is what we've got, okay? And we start to do certain things, and the label is going to be, let's see, I've got history in here, utility items, that's fine. Label, recent items, and I can do this now. Why is it all locked? I don't know. Let me just do add again, see if I can do something else. We'll just do this. I don't know why this isn't working. So there's my history. And I can do this and say next. Got my panel width, everything there. Okay. And we're all set. Recent items. Oh, you know what I did? I don't want to do this one. I want to do recent items. Sorry. That's what I want to do. Recent items. There it is. History is something else. History shows this other part. That's always there. Recent items is here. We're going to call this recent items. It's all there. Panel width, panel height, everything I'm leaving as default. And away we go. And I just hit this. Now I can put in here accounts, or I could also say I want contacts in here, right? I could also maybe put in opportunities and say, okay, and I'm going to click next. Now this is for the tabs at the top, right? So what do we do for the tabs? Okay. And you've got this where you say, I want accounts up here. I'll move accounts over, right? I also want to have maybe my calendar in there, okay? And I want to have my, do I have tasks in here? If I can do that, sure. And tasks, just bring that over in there. And then I'm going to go into just opportunities. And of course, leads. There's two leads. I don't know which one's which. I know that they have different things now, and this is a lightning thing. So let's just leave them both in there for now. Contacts, and then we're going to rearrange them. Bring my calendar down here, task down here, and say next. Now we do the profiles, and I'm going to say, you know what? I want this to be visible for standard users, maybe the system admin, marketing user, etc., etc. Save and finish. Okay. Now, what does this look like? Well, let's go back. Okay, so once it's there, we're going to go back into the main area, click on this, and it should be in here now, and there it is. I go on this, there we've got it. There's my recently viewed, which is what I end up with because that's what I set it up as. Okay, actually, no, let's go to this is the main view. There's my opportunities. You can see I've got my purple, all this. I'm missing a home page, okay, which I need to get on, right? So I can do this, but for right now, this is what I'm looking at. And then I've talked about home pages, and I'm going to talk about another home page next month, as well as kind of making my own. I'm also going to do a little bit different here as well. Okay, so this is what we've got. My home page, my main group, sales and marketing, my tabs set up, and then I can do other things, right? I'm looking for, here's my recent items and my history. So what I did with that utility bar was this, right? There's my recent items. Little tip for you, because it's not seen that often. I could have made this 10, which I probably should have, because there's my customers and accounts, contacts, but they were my recent items, right? So that's where it shows up. History is always there. Only works in console apps, so you can see where that shows up. But this is my recent items, which is actually showing up, which is really nice. The one that I use is actually this one. Right? I use this one because it's got a home page, it's got everything. But you notice I've got my recent items here, and I can go there because it's missing on the front page. Most people are missing that, and they don't know it's down here. So that's where it is. Okay, next. Let's jump something a little bit different. Now we're going to go to counters. Okay, so another thing that I had a client recently that wanted to go over, how do I make a counter field inside of the opportunities? So what we did was we're looking at this here, and I wanted a counter field. I wanted something in the details that has like a counter of when it was created, like a project ID, something like that, right? So what we do is we go to the setup again. Okay, setup console. We're going to go to our object manager, because that's where we have to start. And I'm going to find my opportunity. Actually, let's do it on the leads. Let's do it a little bit different. We're going to go to leads, and I'm going to go to fields, relationships. Okay. From here, I'm going to do a new field. And this one's going to be called, it's going to be a counter, an auto number is what it's going to be. Say next. We're going to call this lead ID. That's all. Okay, display format. Now this is where it gets funky. Okay, this is where it starts to get important of what we do. And I recommend that you click this, what is this, right? Because it opens up a new window that actually shows you everything you need. Okay, And for the most part, what we're going to end up doing is something like a 0 or maybe a 000 with the date, right? So I could do this if I wanted to. Let's just copy this one in. And I'm going to do, there's my format, just like that. And I'm going to do 2 zeros, 3 zeros, so it's actually a 3 or a 4. And my starting number is going to be 1. Okay? I could do generate auto number for existing records. However, when I've done this in the past, what it does is it gives everything today's date. It doesn't go back. It's not smart enough to look at the older create dates. So what you may end up doing, you can do the auto number, which is fine, but you may have to do an export and then a re-import of the data to update it. Okay, so I just say next. Is it visible? Next, etc. And then away we go. Okay, and then I save it. What's important to note is, let's go back into that lead ID. Okay, and let's edit it and see if I can edit the format. I can't do it here, so let's do a new one. What I want to do is show you the actual screen. There it is. It's this guy, because this is important, and you can do it. I mean, there's a lot of flexibility with text if you want it to be that way. Date strings, you can do slashes, you could do whatever you want in here, and this is what it will keep it, but there's a formatting that you have to keep in place. You can get creative with it, okay? So now if I go close out of this, I go to my lead area, and I do a new lead, and we just say test, test, test. My lead ID is not there, right? I can say Salesforce is the product, and I save it. And now if I go look at my lead ID, it says 2018-04 because that's in April of 2018, and I've got 0001. If I make a new lead, obviously it goes up and up and up. Okay, so you can see how that does work. It's decent, it's nice, it's one of those things that sometimes you use, sometimes you don't. I recommend that you use it if you can. Opportunities are a big one, projects, whatever, quotes, whatever you're doing. There's a built-in string, but no one wants to ever use that, so maybe you could use something instead to help you kind of identify things, print out on quotes and opportunities and such. Okay, last one. We're going to mess around with my home page a little bit. Okay, now I've already added what I want to talk about in the tips, so we'll remove it and then we'll re-add it and go from there. I'll show you the flexibility, or maybe we'll mess around and get rid of this account news. But this home page right here is where I kind of look at things and I don't love what I've got, right? So like my today's tasks, well, that's today's. I want to do all overdue. There's all my things that I need to do, right? Maybe this week, completed the last 7 days, whatever they are, right? My tasks. This is all of them, right? Overdue, like I said, okay? By default, it's today. Same with the calendar, like it says that I'm free. Well, I'm obviously not free for this day, so something's not syncing correctly. And I think that has to do with, it's something goofy on my side, but don't worry about that too much. Maybe I'll try and fix that for another tip. So we're going to close out of this, and we're going to go back to the accounts or back to the home page. All right, so what do I do? So by default, this task screen is not there. It's only events, okay? And what I want to do is I want to add in a little bit more to this and make it look right, okay? So what I'm going to do is I am going to go to my setup page again, okay? And where we were before with the app builder, now we're going to go into and do the Lightning app, which I can say app here again, and this is where we were earlier, but I also want to look for Lightning app builder, okay? So if I go into here, you can see all these different things. There's record pages. There's also a home page. These are by default that are already out there. I believe these are the ones that I've kind of adjusted and edited and created and made my own custom ones. So they're in here, right? The defaults are not in here. These are all custom ones. I've got an app page, which is the tasks, and then I've got these two home page, which is the sales page or the starter page, okay? What I'm going to do is I'm going to go and edit this one and see if I can get rid of what I don't want in there. Yeah, so this is good right here. So this is like a home page that we're doing. I'm going to actually show you. We're going to go back to the one that I actually am using right now. And it's this guy. Okay, and all you're really doing is dragging and dropping what you want. Like today, I have today's tasks in here. The problem, what I don't like about it, is that it's always today's task. I can't do anything else. As you can see, today's events, today's tasks. I can't do anything. But there is a drill down or a drop down. It's just a training item, and you have to get your people to look at that, okay? Could I do a list view instead? Maybe. You know, I could do this and say, let's do, is activities out here? Yeah, see, I don't have tasks or activities or events in here. Like, they don't let me do it. They only have this. So I'm going to get rid of that. Here's like my leads, which I have that I want. Here's my recent stuff that I have. Maybe I don't want my account news. Maybe instead, I'm going to take this recent stuff and drag it up here. I actually get rid of it. Let's get rid of recent stuff. Instead, we're going to go to recent things that were there. Today's events, recent items, bring it up here and let it go. And so I can do that there and say, I want to change this to 10, right? I also want to have more than accounts. Like I said, I want to do things like contact, and yeah, we'll just do that for now. And there's my recent items, right? So I've got customers, accounts, contacts, they're all going to be in here, okay? My task, what I did was I had this before where I got rid of it in the tip blog, in the blog post, it's this. I took the recent today's tasks and I added it and just moved it up here, and there it is. I can do component visibility, but I'm going to do that next month. That's what I've already done, okay? And so get rid of that, okay? And new filter, I want to get rid of that. There we go. There's my today's task. So there's other things. Can I put a dashboard in here? Sure. Can I do another list view of opportunities on like my leads? Yeah, good. You know, there's your recent items. I'm kind of stuck in here, but I could do custom components now that I have a different app, and I could do that, right? If I want, I could drag the app launcher in here. App launcher just shows me all these different things that I have, so you could click on. I doubt you're going to use that, right? Because you've got you've got this bar up here that does the same thing. This is the app launcher, right? So there's a few things you could do here. I mean, you can do items to approve, key deals. I do the list views a lot, right? And then I'll hide or show the list views based on what I want to do. Recent records. What's this one? Ah, there we go. There's recent records. Let's do that instead. Okay. We'll go into here, and I think that's about all we can do. I wonder if I can stretch this down. So we'll just do this. Recent records, right? And then I'm also going to do my recent items. We'll put it both in there, okay? Sorry, it didn't like me. Change that again to 10. Select. I want to get my contacts in here too. Say okay, save it, and now we are back in business. Do my home page, load it up. There's my recent records. This is all stuff here, that's fine. This is my recent stuff that I've got. I kind of like that. I wish that I could do this more than 5 though. And then here's my recent items down below. This is the real stuff here. Okay, so you've got my task. There's my overdue task, because I said, you know, I changed this to be like all overdue so that if it shows up, if I do view all, of course, it jumps to my tasks, and there everything is, right? I can do all overdue. There's all my things that I need to do, load more, load more, load more, but you get it, okay? My calendar, get rid of that, say cancel, open. That's just doing that weird thing. See, it's not available. That, I believe, is I've got a calendar. Oh, I know what it is. I've got 2 calendars. I've got one that I created custom a while ago, and then I've got this ugly thing here. Say it doesn't like it. That's what it is. So I got to get rid of one of those. No big deal. I'll just get rid of that in the tab grouping. So that's it for here. I know it was a little bit fast today. Kind of ran through some things. I wanted to make sure that I at least got this video up to go over those tips as promised. I'm doing a little bit later. Again, apologies to those that signed up and I couldn't meet with you personally on a one-on-one. See you in a couple weeks. Like was said, I said we'll go over our next tips that are out there. That would be visibility in the home pages. That's what we did. And then here, let me bring it up as usual. marksgroup.net. You can always go to our blog postings right there. Okay. And if you want to filter those blogs, I usually scroll down. because I like to see just the Salesforce one. So I'll scroll down and just click on Salesforce. And now it's indexed. So we've got editing page layouts in Sales Console, which I talked about the Sales Console last month. We've got the owner to the new event action. I'll explain where that comes in. And then changing the home layout depending on your role, as in hiding and viewing different areas. Like, can I hide this list view? Can I hide this list view from a marketing person or not? So that's what it is. All right. Hope you enjoyed it, and take care of yourself, and we'll talk to you in a couple weeks. Thank you, folks. All right, bye-bye now.